Welcome back friend. Today we discuss about the micronutrient part 2. Okay. In previous video we discussed about the micronutrient part 1. In that we discussed the carbohydrate and water, and here we discuss the protein and fat in a micronutrient part 2. Okay. As you know that what is micronutrient? Micronutrient means the nutrient that require our body in a large amount. Okay. So next, number one, okay, is the protein. Okay, so what is protein? Protein is the chain of amino acid, as we know that. Okay, so next point from the protein. So building block of protein is amino acid, and these amino acid is joined together by the peptide linkage and form a long chain. Okay, and that long chain become further recoiled, coil and recoil, and then form a primary, secondary and tertiary structures and quaternary structures, and then become that protein. Okay, so that is the protein. Okay, so protein is made up of what? So amino acid chain up to 100 or 1000 join and stand a coil. Okay, the amino acid is a 22 amino acid, and from this 22 amino acid only 8, okay, the 8 amino acid is what is essential or non-essential. The essential amino acid, that is 8 amino acid essential, is not formed in our not formed in a body. So that 8 amino acid is taken from the diet. Okay, so AA is represent here what? Amino acid. Okay, I am not writing amino acid in this complete, I just write an AA. So where you see this AA nothing but amino acid here. Okay, so it is not abbreviation of amino acid, but for the short form we write it here amino acid AA. Okay, so essential amino acid and non-essential amino acid. Okay, what is essential amino acid? The amino acid which is not formed in our body. Means what? These amino acid we get from diet, from food. Okay, then non-essential amino acid, that is formed in our body, not required from, not getting from food. Okay, that is formed in our body by the different chemical process. Okay, so quality of food protein. Next point is quality of food protein depend on what? Number and proportion of essential amino acid, not depend on non-essential, is depend upon the number and proportion of what? Essential amino acid. Okay, how much number of essential amino acid in that protein chain of amino acid? Nothing but protein. So in that amino acid, how much essential amino acid? So depend on quality of protein, depend upon the essential amino acid. Okay, not non-essential amino acid that's formed in our body. Next point is the sources of protein. So what is the sources of protein? Yes, sources of protein. So animal food, then the plant food. Animal food is what? Quality, contain all essential amino acid. Animal food contain all essential amino acid. That's why someone want to build their muscle, they eat what? Chicken, or the, yes, chicken means meat they eat, because, and their body or their muscle become what? Become large. Why? Because this is the amino acid, because they contain all amino acid. That's why bodybuilders refer the animal foods. Next, the plant food, one or more amino acid in a plant food, not more amino acid in plant food. Then for example, cereal contain the poor methylene and lysine, plus pulses if we eating, and then pulses is rich in methylene and lysine. Okay, so when we combine, if we combinedly taken the cereals, means wheat, and pulses means rice and dal, nothing but khichdi, so that we get what? Both amino acid, methylene and lysine. So combination of the plant food. Or next is the essential and non-essential amino acid list. Now we have to see. So in essential amino acid, what comes? Isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, then phenylalanine, then the threonine, then the tryptophan, then the valine and histidine. These all are what? Essential amino acid. And this is what? 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. Okay, non-essential amino acid, in non-essential amino acid come with these. So these are alanine, asparagine, then aspartic acid, cysteine, cysteine, then the what? Glutamic acid, glutamine, glycine, hydroxyl propylene, then hydroxyl lysine, then proline, serine, thyroxine. These are the new for you. Hydroxyl proline, then hydroxyl lysine. These are new. Cysteine and this cysteine. Okay, some are new for you. Next is what? Mainly we are learning in 12th 20 essential amino acid, but here they say there are 22 amino acid. Okay. Next one is the protein rich food. If it's talking about protein rich food, how much food contain how much protein? So animal origin food, if we're talking about, then the flesh food means goat, fish and egg. So goat meat, okay, contain 21.4 protein in a per 100 gram. Okay, then a fish contain 20.3, egg contain 13.3. So at least you eat a egg, so you get a protein. If you know, if you are a vegetarian, then also you try to eat egg. Okay, then the meat and milk and milk product, these are also plant origin food. Okay, so milk, cow milk contain 3.2 what protein. Then khoya contain 20 protein. Then the paneer, that is cottage cheese, contain 18.3. So khoya is rich in protein. What is khoya? You know that after the making the ghee, whatever the remain in the that what container, then that is called a khoya. That is stick with that container. Okay. तो जब हम घर में घी बनाते, तो अगर हम घर में घी बनाते तो उसके नीचे जो रहता है, वो जो वॉटेवर पतीले के नीचे जो रहता है, तो उसे हम खोया, तो उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा प्रोटीन था, ऐसा इनका कहना है. उसके बाद में हम देखते हैं तो आप वो खा सकते हो, लाइक बट हम फेंक देते हैं, वो बात अलग है. सो नेक्स्ट इज द फूड्स ऑफ प्लांट ओरिजिन. ओके, नट्स एंड ऑयल सीड्स, प्लांट ओरिजिन. नाउ नट्स एंड ऑयल सीड. सो कैश्यू नट कंटेन मीन्स व्हाट? कैश्यू नट, काजू जो है, as you know that, आप इतना तो हो गई. तो 21.2. then the groundnut is 25.3. then the pulses, okay, in the pulses come the soyabeans 43.2. then the rajma contain 22.9 and bengal gram whole contain what? 17.1. so eat a soyabean, rajma, cashew nut, groundnut that give you protein if you are a vegetarian. Then eat a paneer, eat a cow milk, that is give you build a body if you are, and eat a egg, this make your muscle strong, and you don't need to get what? Supplement. They don't require supplement if you are doing what? Gym. Then the function of these proteins. So protein is a body building. Okay, protein for amino acid, new body tissue, replace and worn out tissue. So protein contain amino acid and new body tissue. Okay, new body tissue replace worn out tissue. Okay, for growth and replacement of dead cell means what? For the cell division, for body building, means for the making a cell require protein. For the structure of making the structure of cell in our body require protein. To replace or to make a new cell, our body require what? Protein. For growth and replacement dead cell. When we're talking about growth, then cell division is required. Okay, then the protein as a regulatory and protective substance also. Is a regulatory and protective substance. How? So enzymes, process of digestion of the food. Enzyme require. Enzyme is what? Enzyme is also the protein. So protein, nothing but enzyme. So process of what? All enzymes are protein, but okay, that is no that. All proteins not. All enzymes are protein, but all proteins are not enzyme. This is a one sentence. Okay. So process of digestion of food require what? For digestion require protein means enzyme require. Then the regulatory. How regulatory? Because hormones like insulin is made up of protein. Antibodies in our body that act as defensive. What? Defensive system. Defensive system, not defective. Defensive system. Our body. Antibodies. Antigen. Okay, not antigen. Antibodies. Immunoglobulins that made up of protein. So regular protective function. This kind of. Okay. Enzymes, hormone, both are regulators. Enzymes and protein. So hormones require, you know, that hormone, insulin, that regulate our glucose level, sugar level. Then the protein as a carrier protein as a carrier. How? Transport of protein, for example, HB hemoglobin is what? Is transport of CO2 from tissue to lungs. Okay, transport of oxygen, you know that, from lungs to tissue. Then it transport of CO2 also from tissue to lungs, then out of body. So require for gaseous transport, what? What? HB is required, hemoglobin is required. In the energy giving function, so in energy giving function, protein broken and provide energy. It's an energy giving function of protein. If in our body the carbohydrate is less, or if we are in starvation condition, our body utilize protein also for the energy production. During starvation, when our carbohydrate in our body, carbohydrate is very less, okay, then the 1 gram of protein gives you a 4 kilocalories of what? Energy. Then the carbs is insufficient. When the carbs is insufficient, that's already I tell you. Then the digestion, absorption and utilization of what? Protein. How? So protein is what? Protein, amino acid, small and large chain of amino acid digest, okay, digest and form amino acid, okay. How protein is so large? Protein, or protein is what? Broken down when we eat a food. So food contain proteins, and that protein is what? Is a complex protein. So that protein is broken down, and then what? Then they utilized by our body, then broken down into the simpler form, that is amino acid, and then from this and from the small intestine, that is absorbed. So this process is given here. So in stomach, what happened? Pepsin and proteolytic enzyme broke the protein to small chain partly in stomach, okay. Then in small intestine, this food enter into small intestine. Then in small intestine, partly digested food from the stomach is enter into the small intestine. So in that small chain, means partially digested protein, now the enzyme like protease enzyme converts into even smaller chain, that is, and then last the peptidase enzyme acting on this amino acid chain and form the simpler form, that is amino acid is formed, and that is absorbed into our bloodstream. Then from the amino acid carried to blood, and blood too goes to the liver, okay. Then the building of protein then retain in a liver and enter the circulation. So what? Building of protein then make form these amino acid. Different kind of proteins is made by the cell. Then the some amino acid is retained in a liver, and some are enter into the what? Amino acid in circulation. Some are in circulation. Then some remain in the circulation and other take up by the cell. That's what I'm talking. Then for protein synthesis, only good quality protein, then they utilized by body for synthesis of its own protein. So how this amino acid from the blood is goes to the, some are goes to the liver, some are remain in the circulation, and some are some are goes to the, some cell are utilizes in our body cell, whatever the cell our some body cell require, okay, and some body cell absorb this amino acid to make their own protein. This is how protein is digested, okay. Then so how protein digested complex, as you know, in stomach and in intestine, some enzymes like pepsinogen protease partially digestion of protein takes place in stomach. Then from that enter into small intestine. In small intestine, what happen? Peptidase enzyme act and they convert into amino acid. Then from wall of small intestine, okay, that associated with the blood vessels, from that the absorption of protein is absorbed into the bloodstream, and from the blood is some are goes to the liver, some are goes to the body cell that make protein, and some are remain in circulation. This is how protein is utilized and digested, okay. Then the fat, that next topic that we discuss in next video. I hope this video is helpful for you. Thank you.